When you think about what really makes the internet tick, your mind might jump to code or massive undersea cables. But what about the companies that have been powering it all from the very beginning? Today, we're going to take a look at one of those pioneers, Systron Micronix. Let's dig into what's made them a go-to digital partner for businesses all over the world for decades now.
So first up, let's look at this number, 25 plus. That's more than a quarter century of leadership. To give you some perspective, they got their start way back in 1997. In the tech world, that's not just experience, that's practically an eternity.
And then there's this number, 1,000 plus. That's how many clients they have all over the world, stretching from the USA and the UK all the way to Australia. So yeah, we're not talking about some small regional player. This is a company with a serious international footprint.
So how did they get from there to here? Well, it's really a story of evolution. They started as one of the very first web hosting companies in their region and grew into this global partner for, well, pretty much all things digital. Let's trace that journey.
Kicking things off in central India, they've spent almost 3 decades building up this incredible reputation for top-tier cloud and hosting. That super deep-rooted legacy, well, it's the foundation for everything they do today. So what's actually in their toolkit?
Okay, so they offer a ton of services, but you can really break it all down into 3 main areas. Just think of it like a complete digital toolkit for any business out there. You've got powerful hosting, seamless communication, and of course, rock-solid security. Let's unpack each one. All right, first up, let's talk about hosting. This is where it all started for them, their bread and butter, and they've got the whole spectrum covered. If you need raw, unadulterated power, you've got dedicated servers. Looking for something flexible that can grow with you? There are virtual private servers, or VPS. And hey, if you're just getting your feet wet, they have super user-friendly shared hosting. And what's really cool here is how this table just lays out the whole journey for a business. You might kick things off with shared hosting. It's perfect for a new blog or a startup. But as you grow and need more control, you can graduate to a VPS with full root access. And for those really high traffic, absolutely mission-critical apps, a dedicated server gives you that exclusive top-of-the-line performance. Okay, moving on to the next pillar, communication. And we're not just talking about some basic email inbox here. By partnering up with the heavy hitters, we're talking Google and Microsoft, they offer legit enterprise-grade tools to make sure your team can collaborate effectively and, really importantly, securely. And that brings us to the final and maybe most important pillar, security. Which, let's be real, is totally non-negotiable these days. From cloud backups to SSL certificates and even protection against those nasty DDoS attacks, they're basically building a digital fortress around your assets to keep your business up and running no matter what. So, okay, having a complete toolkit is awesome. But you might be thinking, hey, other companies do that too. And you'd be right. So the real question is, what sets them apart? What is this Systron advantage? Well, it all comes down to their core philosophy. And this quote, this really gets to the core of who they are. It's a customer-first philosophy. That tells me they don't just see themselves as another vendor. They're positioning themselves as a real partner, someone who's genuinely invested in helping their clients crush their business goals.
And look, this isn't just some nice-sounding mission statement. It actually breaks down into 4 real advantages for their customers. It all starts with transparent, competitive pricing. Then they back that up with 24/7 support, so downtime is basically a non-issue. All of that builds a long-term trust, which lets them provide these awesome, scalable solutions that literally grow right alongside your business. It's one thing to make promises, but it's another thing entirely to actually deliver. So where's the proof in the pudding, right? Well, Systron Micronix just points to its track record, which is backed by a whole bunch of industry awards and some really key partnerships.
Just take a look at this timeline. You can see a clear pattern here, right? Most trusted in 2018, most innovative just a few years later in 2022. Getting recognized year after year like this is no accident. It's a clear-as-day pattern of excellence.
Oh, and their partnerships, they tell a massive story all on their own. When you're an authorized partner for giants like Google, AWS, and Microsoft, it means you've met the absolute highest standards for your expertise and service. That's a huge vote of confidence. But a truly great company doesn't just focus on the here and now. They've got to have an eye on the future. And for Systron Micronix, that means a really deep commitment to sustainability and responsible technology.
And again, this isn't just talk. They're putting their money where their mouth is, with real, concrete actions. We're talking about energy-efficient green servers,
optimizing resources through virtualization, and even investing in renewable energy for their data centers. This is what responsible innovation actually looks like in practice. And all of this, it ties right back into their fundamental vision. Notice that wording, not just a provider, but the preferred provider. And how do they plan on getting there? Through that one thing we've seen over and over again, continuous innovation. Their mission statement, man, it just hammers home that whole idea of partnership. It's all about mutual growth. The idea is that success isn't some zero-sum game. It's about creating a true win-win system where the clients, the employees, and the organization all rise together. So let's recap. We've seen the history, we've seen the tools, and we've seen their absolute commitment to being a partner. It all boils down to one thing, really, the difference between a simple provider and a true partner. So the final question isn't about them, it's for you. Is your business ready for that kind of partnership?